Hello, and welcome. I figured I'd do some basic commentary this run, just to get some of the common questions out of the way, and also give just some tips that might not show up from the gameplay. If you don't want all the yapping but you'd still like to watch my run, I have pinned a comment below that just has a link to the exact same run without any talking. In that same comment, there will be a link to a graphic I made, and that just has a summary of all the different ways you could win day one, different combinations of rooms and items you'd be looking for. At the start of every single run, your first three options are always the same. So we've discovered on the Blueprints Discord that if you pick bedroom going right, it always has a chest in there, so recently I started taking that. This closet pick, I'm really just hoping for a sledgehammer to open that chest, but shoes are actually huge. Especially if you get it early, it'll just save you a whole ton of steps throughout the whole run. Utility closet is also really good to get in early game. You want this plus security room in order to unlock all the keycard doors, but it's also good for the garage, which is a key component for a day one run. You basically only have two ways to get to the far side of the minecart, and of those, I think the tomb is by far the most reliable way. At the beginning here, we're kind of trying to curve to the left because I do want to see that garage early, both to confirm that is a viable route, as well as just to get those three keys. Also just trying to fill out these lower ranks as much as possible. These are the ranks where you don't have any keys to spend, and they don't cost any keys to open, so you're basically just farming it for resources. Don't be too concerned with dead ending in the early game. I mean, a worst case scenario, you lose, and what? You just reset. It's not that big of a deal if you lose an early game run, in my opinion. And especially if you draft a lot of dead ends like I'm going for here, you can't draft those dead ends later when it really matters. Like, you don't want to get all the way to antechamber and then just be flooded with commonplace dead ends and fail to draft a 3-door room when you really need it. Since I'm not going to be backtracking here anymore, that's why I'm just cutting my losses and using a key. The expected value of chests is always higher than a key, so it is worth. It's just, I would have liked to have gotten a sledgehammer. You definitely want to know where all these hidden safes are, as well as the combinations. Just having a few extra gems can really make your day. Sorry, I feel like I'm losing my voice a bit already. This is my second time trying to record this because last night I just completely lost my voice. Billiards, great. What we really want from here is a secret garden key, since that would give us a guaranteed way into the antechamber. But silver key is also a really good pickup. As you'll see here in a moment, I actually get 2 normal keys. That's perfectly acceptable too. Normal keys are great. A lot of runs end just to running out of resources. Either keys or gems. Both of those are absolutely necessary to keep your run going, and to not be completely railroaded into picking bad rooms. You should win Parlor every time, especially day one. It's very, very simple. And the 2 gems, especially early game, is crucial. Darkroom's a bit of a greedy pick here. And the breaker box is way too far away to backtrack to make this safe. If I did want to make it safe, you could like walk all the way back there and then flip the switch on and off again, but I'm just going for completely blind picks here. This was a terrible idea. Do not pay 2 gems for a completely blind pick. I thought I had a hard read on it, and I knew it was veranda, but that's not a guarantee. I was crazy. Don't do that. Greenhouse is a nice find. It's not the most reliable way of getting into the antechamber, but it just provides another option if I'm able to find a broken lever later. The increased green room spawn can be a bit of a mixed bag, since those are all going to cost gems, but green rooms generally tend to drop more items than normal, and especially with that veranda, that's actually really nice, since each of those should be dropping more items than normal. The dining room on day 1 is actually guaranteed to always have the, I forget the name of it, but it's a fish dish, and if you get an aquarium, then it gives plus 10 steps. So that's something to keep in mind for later. I kind of got forced to use a die there just because it's mostly my own fault for kind of winding my route in on itself like that. You're kind of forcing yourself to have to find a path to the right. So that's really not ideal. And here, I really tried to... I should have saved my die, I'm pretty sure. Because I'm giving up my guarantee at rolling a tomb outside and leaving that up to chance by spending a die there. Metal detector in Great Hall is really useful because it tells you which door has metallic loot behind it. And the lever always spawns behind a room that has some sort of loot in there. It's not a guarantee it's going to be metal, but if you know a door has metallic loot behind there, you have a 50-50 shot of it being the lever. Foundation is the last thing I needed to guarantee I can solve the downstairs. All I need now is to make sure I can get around to the rear side of it to activate the lever. And then after that, all I need to actually win the run is to secure a path to the antechamber door that I opened, and also make sure I get enough steps to actually walk the route. I don't think I'm really conscious of it yet in this run, but I do get a bit low on steps, and that is definitely something you should keep in mind, especially as you're nearing the top of the map and you know you have to backtrack all the way. Security room ideally would have come a lot earlier. Like, this was really lucky that I didn't have to go through any security doors already. This, combined with the utility closet from the beginning of the run, is how you want to unlock all the security doors. And then, once you have set them to unlock when they're unpowered, you want to set the security level to high, so then you have a high likelihood of just getting completely free doors. Chapel, you can generally just treat it as a good room. That 1 gold, or 2 gold, or even 3 gold, depending on how many times you have to go through here, it's not usually impactful enough to sway the run, and 3-door rooms, especially free ones, are really nice just to not box yourself in and to get extra resources from that other path. Here I should be looking for steps, but it looks like it offered me a wine cellar, which you always take wine cellar if it gets offered to you and it doesn't like immediately end your day. 3 gems, especially on day 1, goes a really long way. Here, steps really should be the first thing on my mind again, so honestly, nursery was probably the pick, but I was sitting on 15 gold, so it does kind of make sense. Bit of a nifty call there. Finally get a free security door. And here, since I just spent all my money, I can't pick kitchen. Kind of unfortunate, but aquarium is nice because it does boost that fish dish by 10 steps. And because I have that veranda, and aquarium counts as a green room, there's an increased chance of loot. That also let me get the broken lever, so now I have an option to go all the way back to greenhouse to unlock the south antechamber door. This is really unfortunate. Secret passage might have been a viable choice here, but I did want to start making my way towards the antechamber, so I decided to spend the 2 gems to curve left. This was definitely a mistake. I should have opened the safe first. If there was something that cost 2 gems that I really wanted, I wouldn't be able to afford it here. And I can't spend my last die, since I really need that to have any sort of chance at rolling tomb outside. So I'm forced to take observatory, which is not good on day 1. Even if you solve the observatory puzzle, it's only a single gold, and paying a gem for gold and turning in an uncontrollable direction is not a good trade-off. This magnifying glass doesn't matter for anything, really. Especially day 1. Kitchen is great. Like, I may not have realized that at the moment, but this actually saved the run. And I somehow got exactly enough to be able to buy some food and stay alive. Conference room is also exactly what I needed. I needed any completely free room that didn't cost any gems that curved into the antechamber. Even just getting one that just went left would have been fine, but conference room was perfect there. Here, I think I was just looking for more dice in order to guarantee the tomb. I don't know why I drafted it and then decided to not even walk in there. I guess I was just concerned about my steps at this point, but if I had counted carefully, I think it would have worked out. So, really, that was probably a minor misplay. Here, generally, there's no harm in spreading gold throughout your estate, but since this was a speedrun, this was a mistake, because I didn't need the gold. The only thing that's going to determine if I win or lose at this point is whether I roll tomb outside. I do actually have enough steps to make it there, or make it to the dining room, and then once I eat that fish dish, then I should be set. And since I got that aquarium early, this should give 30 steps, and I should be completely set for steps for the rest of the run. I guess I should also mention why I'm talking about tomb needing 2 dice, even though I only have 1. The outer room choices are also fixed on day 1, just like the first 3 inner choices, and you'll never get tomb from the initial batch. For some reason, it doesn't feel very likely to roll tomb on the first reroll, but it is 100% guaranteed if you have 2 dice. Just because the way it cycles through the options. It'll always give you new options if you haven't seen all of them yet. So unfortunately, since I only have 1 die, I am leaving it up to chance. And this is a moment where I get to find out if I won or lost. And I won. So I'd like to talk about all the different ways that you can win the underground portion of the game. You basically need to either get tomb or pool into pump room in order to access this side of the underground. And of those, I think tomb is way easier to get. There's recently been like some discussion of trying to force pool by getting a silver key, and then if you use that on one of the edges of the mansion, especially if you have a few dice to reroll, then since it's guaranteed to only give you 3-door rooms, and there's only like 13 possible 3-door rooms it could give you on either the east or the west side, you have a fairly decent chance at rolling pool, and then you would need to get pump room after that as well. But obviously we ended up getting tomb this run, so that's not necessary. As for accessing the other side of the underground that has the gears, for that, you'd either want that same pool and pump room combination. If you have that as well as tomb, then you can just boat across. I wouldn't have to walk up here. I could just go to the reservoir and use a boat. But alternatively, On this run I got the foundation, and you can use that as well as the basement key, which I did not forget to go get from the antechamber. Alternatively, you can also try to make a power hammer. I think it's kind of unlikely, but if you manage to find a workshop and a sledgehammer and a battery pack and a broken lever, then you can knock your way through the shortcut and access that side. From here on out, the run is... It's guaranteed. I've won at this point. All I need to do is walk the steps, go solve the puzzle, not get lost, and run out of all my steps accidentally. Which, I mean, I guess... yeah. I make mistakes, but hopefully I don't mess up that bad. You'll see in this upcoming room that I did not solve the puzzle. I'm just going to use a speedrun skip to hover across. But if you're just worried about winning, period, on day one, don't bother with this. Once you're locked in this room, you don't lose any steps, so take your time solving the puzzle the normal way. Or you could try to do this. All you do is alternate pressing the directory button and right-click to cancel, and you can kind of just fly across. This was my first time doing it, and it was that easy. Just knowing you could do it led to being able to do it. Props to the Speedrun Discord for finding that. It's a pretty neat speedrun trick. Oh, and props to Cave for pointing out that I had the wrong solution to this puzzle, because my old puzzle solution was slower than this route. Oh, especially since we're looking at it right now, right there is a blueprint for the Mechanarium, and that's an alternate antechamber lever. I don't think it's super likely, but if you somehow don't have a way into the antechamber at this point in time, this is something you could try just to save a lost run. If you manage to add the Mechanarium to your pool and you manage to draft it in a spot, once you already have a combined 5 either gear icon rooms or blocked off exits to the room you're drafting, then you're able to get it to spawn a door going diagonally, and that'll give you an alternate lever. There's a few other alternate levers as well. 2 of those also require the power hammer, so I think they're a bit too unlikely to expect to get day one. But those are, again, in the secret garden. If you're able to use the power hammer, then you can knock out the wall to unlock the east door instead of the west door, which could be useful if you somehow blocked yourself off from being able to access the west door. You can also use the power hammer in the weight room, and that'll let you open up the south door. Generally, you don't want to take the weight room, especially like day one. You don't have a lot of steps to work with, but theoretically, that could save a run if you somehow ended up with power hammer and a weight room. There's some other ways of winning day one that I've posted in my graphic in that pinned comment. They're not really likely enough to comment on, but know that they exist, and if you happen to recognize that you have enough of the rooms and items along a chain to go for it, you might as well just go for it. You're not going to win every single day one run, far from it. In general, this is the most RNG the game gets. The more you play the game, the more tools it gives you to mitigate RNG and actually control how you draft the mansion, but day one you basically have none of that, so your only real way of mitigating RNG is playing smart and playing a lot. It's going to take some attempts. On the plus side, if you do manage to win day one, I almost guarantee you will also win in sub 1 hour for that trophy. I haven't seen anyone's run that won day one and didn't also get that. In a moment, we'll get to see our mansion here. So it actually ended up being a really filled out mansion, and I wasn't actually keeping track of my time, so I thought that because my mansion was so filled out, this must be a slow run. And I didn't actually find out until we got over to the profile page here that this was actually my PB. So that was a pleasant surprise. I definitely think the run could go a lot faster. I don't know if it'll be me doing it, but there will definitely be a lot of time improvements over time in this game. Hopefully this commentary helped. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to help my channel out, a like or a subscribe would probably go a long way. I just upload as a hobby, but I do try to put out what I think is interesting challenge content, and mostly indie games, not 100%. But yeah, have a good one, and let me know if you have any questions. I'll be fielding those in the comments.